Hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to my channel, Light of Shaya. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to those of you who are new. I hope you enjoy the content, and welcome back to those of you who are returning. I simply want to say thank you so much for all of your support. I appreciate every single one of you. So today we're going to be doing a message from Spirit, from God, the Divine, however you refer to your higher power. I'll be starting here with the Spirit Animal Oracle cards, and then I'll be using the Good Tarot for the rest of the reading. Alrighty, so let's see what message Spirit has for us today. Hope you're all having a lovely day. Hope that the new year has been treating you well as well. Right, look at that, beautiful cards. Okay, so we have first card that came out is the Frog Spirit. Clear out the clutter, number 28. Followed by Bee Spirit, sweet results await. Absolutely beautiful. This is giving me kind of like the feeling of ambrosia here. Very beautiful energy. And then we have the Armadillo Spirit, set healthy boundaries, number 3. Fascinating, fascinating. Okay, so with Clear Out the Clutter, this card could be referring to I'm getting physical space quite a bit. So if you have a messy room, if things are a little disorganized, spend some time obviously clearing out things that you don't want. Donate them if you'd like to, of course. You don't have to throw them all away. Or even maybe sell them if you're capable of, speaking to people at this time, or things are if you feel safe enough to do so during these times. That may be a suggestion as well to bring in a little bit more money. What's really interesting to me is that this is also really, really touching on mindsets, right? When Clear Out the Clutter comes out, I sense that there's a lot of a need to look at belief systems or ideas that we have that are kind of just junk, right? Sometimes we accumulate this junk throughout our lives. There's a sense of what's really coming through here with like set healthy boundaries, right? So it's almost like I'm sensing here, due to circumstances in our lives, sometimes we start to create like shells for ourselves, right? Like different faces, different ways of portraying us to people, right? It's kind of like one of those social things that we develop. The question that's really philosophical in nature that I'm getting from these cards is kind of like looking at yourself now and saying, who am I, right? There's a sense of needing to look within to clear out these old ideas of the previous versions of ourselves that have existed, right? So sometimes we carry on baggage. This message is coming out really strong. It's really interesting. I'm kind of just going with it here. My apologies, but it seems to be needed to be expressed. There's a sense of like needing to clear out past ideas of who we were, right? So sometimes, and this message came out strongly yesterday, I believe, of us creating these ideas for ourselves and then putting ourselves into boxes. And so and these are behaviors that we've picked up from previous parts of our lives, right? Some of us may have difficulties connecting with people due to maybe some childhood traumas that we experience, things of that nature, right? There's a very deep need to really reflect on this. That message obviously came out very strongly because I've gone on a tangent about it. But with the sweet results await, right? One of the beautiful things about this is that this is the sweetness of life here, right? The elixir of life is found within us. And so this is taking a very spiritual turn here. When we look at previous installments in our lives of who we were as people, we can start to strip away the things that no longer serve us, ideas that we have of ourselves, things, boxes that we have put ourselves into, victim mentalities, right? 8 of Swords coming through very strongly. And there's a need to look and strip away these old ideas of who we were, right? So for example, if all of your needs are met right now, right? Gratitude mindset is so incredibly important. That message has been coming out very strongly lately. Instead of looking at what you don't have, look at what you do have, right? And really just focus on that, right? Sometimes we, and you'll feel it in your body. You'll feel the difference, the shift. There's an emotional shift. It's like everything is in alignment when you start focusing on what you do have as opposed to what you don't. Now, of course, with set healthy boundaries, this is a reminder as well. If people are oversharing with you or emotionally dumping on you or things of that nature, right? When somebody makes you uncomfortable, It's about being able to speak up without having to worry about what the person thinks, right? You don't have to say it in a mean way. You can just say like, hey, I don't like it when you do this thing, right? And then take it in turn, especially if it's being done to you, right? Also understanding what healthy boundaries looks like for another person. It's about like, what did this person say to me that hurt me, right? And it's like understanding that maybe the intention wasn't to hurt at all. It's just it was revealed to you that there was something that you needed to work on, and now that it's brought to your attention, of course the ego mind is resisting it and saying, no, you can't be that version, you know, you have this version of yourself that you are. There's a lot about like multitude of faces here. It's a very fascinating message that I'm getting into. Anyway, that was a very, very lengthy message for the beginning of this reading, but let's go ahead and get into the good tarot. My apologies. That went on for quite a bit longer than I anticipated. Okay, so we have the Queen of Water. That's Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, followed by the Six of Air. Lots of stuff here dealing with the ocean or the beach. I'm getting messages of this. Look at that. We have the Five of Air. So the Six of Air followed by the Five of Air. Fascinating. We have the Queen of Earth and the Messenger of Water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, again with the Messenger of Water. And we have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn with the Queen of Pentacles. This is fascinating. Okay. The King of Fire. So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Ooh, look at that. We have the Queen of Fire with the Messenger of Fire. Look at this. I can't help but notice what's fascinating to me is that in the water suit we have the Queen of Water and the Messenger of Water, and we have the Messenger of Fire and the Queen of Fire. And of course with the King of Fire, Queen of Fire, this is a coupling. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, masculine and feminine. And what's really fascinating is that this King of Fire is like behaving as this Messenger of Fire. This message is what I'm picking up. Like, I'm not interested. I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. Look at that. And look at the way that the Queen of Fire is here. Now, another message that I'm getting that's really fascinating to me is that there's somebody in between you two, right? You have the Queen of Fire and the King of Fire. And it's like this person is this Messenger of Fire. Like, I don't like her, right? If you're the feminine in the relationship, right? It's like, I don't like this Queen of Fire. I don't like her. They put me off. I feel like this five, maybe this Five of, I don't know why I'm picking up on this, but this Messenger of Fire, right, is really coming across as the person who's in this Five of Air energy of like manipulation. Because I can't help but notice the way the cards look right now, the shades. If you put them like this, I'll likely switch the camera angle in just a moment so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But there's something about the color scheme here and how they're related. I feel like somebody in this situation is really manipulating someone. They're like standing in between something and dangling things in front of someone in a way saying like, this is what this person has done. It's like almost like trying to create a case against you. Really fascinating message. But anyway, we have the Queen of Water here, which is very intuitive, you know, is a very loving energy. And there is something about this card that really screams to me High Priestess, right? Of course, the Queen of Cups tends to be the most intuitive card behind the High Priestess, right? The High Priestess being the most intuitive. And it's like, I know that there's something I'm moving on from, or I know how like I feel like this Queen of Water is the one envisioning the Six of Air, like saying to herself, I know I have to leave this behind, or there's something about travel here, right? Remember to clear out the clutter. It's really interesting because it's like this Queen of Water is looking at the Six of Air. It's like I'm moving on from the situation, right? I'm moving on from the situation. And what's fascinating to me is that this Queen of Water, the way it looks, I'll flip the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's like a story playing out towards this person who has their back turned. It's like a victory. It's like this person is secretly feeling like victorious against you. Like I've won. This really interesting message that I'm picking up on. This has definitely been one of the more stranger readings I've done. This Queen of Earth seems unaffected though. See her face? It's just like, I'm unimpressed. This Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn may know about whatever this Queen of Water might be doing, and the Queen of Earth is really not interested in it. And then we have the Messenger of Water, which is kind of what the Queen of Earth is looking at, right? There's this love, maybe, or like a spirit guide coming through here, because this card often represents to me a spirit guide, right? The person looking at the spirit guide and saying to themselves, like, so what's up with this, right? It's almost like you're receiving information, like they're telling you, your spirit guides or your spirit team, maybe through dreams or through tarot, telling you this is what's going on. Interesting, right? And so then we have the King of Fire, Messenger of Fire, the Messenger of Fire seeming to be as well maybe involved in the situation. It's like player energy, of course, that's what the Knight of Wands sometimes represents. But I just can't help but notice, look at that, Messenger of Fire and the Queen of Fire. Just like, I'm not talking to them. And I feel like what's really interesting is I'm picking up almost like a temper tantrum from a child. Because you can notice that this kid is like upset with their mother. Really, really weird message, right? It's like the dad doesn't want to deal with it. Maybe some of you are dealing with the kid. The dad doesn't want to deal with it. It's like, I don't want to deal with that. Turning his face away. Right? Not wanting to interact with the father and looking at the mother with disdain. Very odd message coming through there for someone, maybe in regards to children, right? Anyway, how does this, maybe this clear out the clutter is clean up the situation. It's no longer worth your time or something like that. Sweet results await after you start setting healthy boundaries, because this does not seem like a situation where healthy boundaries are being set, of course. Two of Water and Messenger of Air. Wow. Got the Ten of Air. And the Two of Water with the Messenger of Air. It's really interesting. In a couple of my readings, I think in the Gemini, Libra, Aquarius reading, the message ended with Knight of Swords, Page of... oh, there's another one. Knight of Swords, Page of Cups. Now, what's really fascinating is, look, I missed this energy. It was hiding behind the Messenger of Air. And I'm getting a kind of not so good feeling from this Four of Air. You see how she's smirking? It's like this person is presenting themselves as this, but really they're this. This is the most bizarre reading I think I've done to date. There's a bunch of people involved in this, for whoever this reading is for. Likely in a soulmate connection here with the Two of Water. There's like a couple. There's a couple dealing with the situation, maybe two very passionate people, two fire signs. And there's other people involved in this scenario trying to create like a gap or something like that. And this is why healthy boundaries need to be set. Maybe somebody is talking about their relationship with someone and they're getting involved. And so this is causing a disharmony in the dynamic, because two people, like, interesting, I wanted to say two people are involved. So maybe there are two people here involved in the situation that weren't supposed to be involved at all in the first place. It's like, now that these two have been brought into the equation, it's causing problems in your relationship, is what I'm picking up. If you're a partner, right? Maybe you're one of the people involved in this situation, right? Maybe you're aware of it somehow. Maybe you're kind of in the background as opposed to actually involved. But for some of you, it's like, this is what's going on, right? And with the Ten of Air, it's really interesting because this is a card of endings, but I'm also sensing it's like, I don't want to see the signs about this, right? Ten of Air is saying, it's like blowing away the signs, because usually my feathers in these cards represent signs from the divine. And in this deck, this card, I mean, she's blowing the signs away, like, I'm not interested, like, go away, right? And it's in regards maybe to a connection here where somebody is trying to manipulate the situation. They're coming across as this like really innocent person, like somebody who speaks their truth. They're very kind, but they're like, in a sense, actually this energy. They're a trickster. They're kind of like they don't have the best of intentions. And it's like looking at the Two of Cups. It's looking at the connection here. and like this person is trying to get involved in your relationship if you're dealing with someone. It's a really interesting message coming through, right? I hope I'm reading this properly, because this is a little bit off for me. It's like I'm almost wanting to ask, why am I being shown this, in a sense? It's really interesting. Maybe there's a lot of confusion here, and so I'm picking up on that as well. Well, I'm going to go ahead and flip the board around so you guys can actually see all the cards on the table, and I'll be back in just a moment. Alrighty guys, I'm back. This is a really small table, so I apologize if you guys can't see all of the cards. I was trying to figure out a way to get them all up, but I seem to be kind of cutting off here. So what was really interesting that I was picking up on, right, the color schemes that I was seeing, you see this like green here. For some reason, it's calling me out here, like this is a connected energy somehow. And note how the 5 of air is above the Queen of Fire. So it feels like there's somebody almost dreaming about or contemplating or like thinking about this situation happening. Someone else is somehow involved, this Queen of Earth, who has a lot of love towards you, I'm sensing, is like turning their back and saying, I'm not interested in this, right? I don't want to, like, I'm not interested in dealings with this situation. I don't want to get involved. Maybe with the Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, right? Or maybe this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces is the one kind of intervening between the Queen of Fire and the King of Fire, because I can't help but notice that this energy here is looking at this while she has her back turned, right? So it's like I'm turning a blind eye to it. I don't want to see it. Maybe there's a Taurus. I don't know why Taurus came through very strongly with the Queen of Earth here, like not looking at this or not wanting to deal with it. Then we have these two energies that are somehow like, it's almost like she knows about what's going on here, but she doesn't want to get involved with this person either. It's really weird. It's like, I honestly, I'm trying to pick up on what this has to do. This has to do with a soulmate connection. And somebody is coming in presenting themselves as kind of like almost like an angelic being, or like somebody nice, or like an inner knowing, but really there's like a trickster energy going on in the background. Like, it's really bizarre that I'm picking up on that. You see what I mean? Like, you see how she's there's something very calm and almost like eerie about this one. She's just presented in a very clear manner. There's something about that, like they seem to be this very clear person, but really with the 4 of air, there's a little bit of deceptive energy. It's like a trickster. Maybe what's really interesting is this trickster energy may not really even be involved in this. Maybe this is in another situation, another, like a teenager even, because the messengers are teenagers, right? In this deck, they come out as like basically kind of like teens to me, or children. I'm like really trying to pick up on this. Like, what does this have to do? Like, I mean, obviously with setting healthy boundaries, it's like saying to yourself, I don't want to get involved in this situation, right? Being able to stand your ground and say, like, if somebody's trying to wrap you into their marital problems or like a situation in regards to, it's really interesting. That was eyeing me earlier. You know, dealing with this, it's like, I don't feel like you want to. 7 of Fire. Tower, look at that. Messenger of Earth. There's another messenger. That's 3 messengers on the board. It's like 10 of Fire, right? Look at this. I always see this card as my, like, what is the word? My magician in this deck. There's like something ethereal about this one, like the way they're manipulating the paper. It's like it's like law of attraction stuff. It's like law of attraction is what I'm getting, like touching into the Akashic records, tarot readings. That's basically what this card resembles for me. It's like the 7 of Fire is taking a leap of faith. This card always comes out as a leap of faith for me because of the way the unicorn is hopping off the cliff here, right? And look, it's almost like they're looking at each other. It's really interesting how that comes about too. There's like an inner knowing or like a recognition here of some sort. Very spiritual. It's like almost 5D for whatever reason that I'm picking up on that. And it's moving away from this tower. And it's like this tower usually comes through as an obstruction, right? Because it's not like traditional towers where it's blasted apart. It's like an obstruction. It's like something's in your way. And with the Messenger of Earth, there's, right? This seems like, look at how planted this person appears. It's like, I'm standing my ground. I'm no longer dealing with the situation, right? Maybe this is the Taurus, right? This could be a Virgo as well. It's like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Or standing your ground in regards to like why things can't move forward. Very interesting. The King of Earth at the bottom of the deck here. So there's another pairing between the King of Earth and Queen of Earth. Below that is the 6 of Cups. which is comes through as a sense of longing here. Sadness, right? Sadness maybe, and due to lack, we have the Five of Earth here, which is, this is a very stuck energy. It's really interesting because this is coming through as like, I'm missing you, I miss you, right? Even with the Six of Cups, it's like, I miss you. That's kind of what this is coming through as. Really interesting, I miss you. And there's Ten of Water below that. It's like, this is love, or this is divine, or, you know, divine love here. Very, very interesting message. Maybe somebody needed to learn how to set healthy boundaries with someone, right? Maybe it was a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And once these healthy boundaries were established, it was like a change. There was a change in the dynamic. Really interesting that I'm picking up. So we have two couples here. Two couples, right? King of Earth, King of Fire, Queen of Fire. And it's like, it's really weird. I'm like trying to pick up on it. I don't know if these are the same people, right? I don't feel like the King of Earth and Queen of Earth are different versions of the Queen of Fire, King of Fire. I feel like this is two couples dealing with each other. And with the Queen of Water, maybe there's an external friend or something like that, this inner knowing about like a manipulation going on behind the scenes, right? And like somebody could have gotten involved, but they decided to stand their ground and create an obstruction. They moved away from it and instead chose to focus on themselves or create for themselves, be very creative together. Really interesting that I said together, because I was only talking about like one person initially, but I'm feeling like in that case, there may be something about a couple working together, maybe on a project or something. It's really bizarre that this message is coming through. I'm like, it's really interesting. I split the deck and there's that Fortune's Wheel. Now is a lucky time came out in yesterday's reading, right? With Rabbit Spirit. So maybe there's something about divine timing, maybe priorities here, trying to figure out priorities on a collaboration of some sort. It's like maybe something took too long, right? It's like maybe there was stagnance and then somebody decided, you know, I don't want to deal with this because it's taking too long, or somebody has put their foot down is kind of what I'm sensing with this. Somebody put their foot down and they're creating an obstacle, an obstruction, saying, I don't want to deal with this. Very fascinating that I'm getting this. Well, I mean, we do have time to heal at the bottom of the deck with the Snake Spirit. So maybe there's something here, a behavioral pattern. Remember how I was really going on a tangent earlier about behavioral patterns and like past life versions of ourselves? Maybe there's something here about clearing out a mentality, right? Maybe somebody that you're dealing with has a mentality or an obstruction of something, like a mindset maybe, or a physical thing in their home, like something like, I don't know, trash, or like they need to clean up or something. And that's why clear out the clutter is here. And then, of course, sweet results await. So I feel like no matter what happens here between the situation, even though things started off heavy with the manipulation energy or whatever that was, it's in a sense saying, I'm not interested in that, right? Like we're aware, maybe this is a past situation where like we're aware about what happened in the past. We're aware about the issues that we had, but that's no longer relevant. And maybe that's why the set healthy boundaries is here too, because somebody feels maybe that they need to hash out things that they did in the past. Really weird, bizarre message that I'm saying or coming through with here of like, maybe you guys had a falling out with somebody, got back together or something like that, or started talking again, or maybe there was just a disagreement, right? And for whatever reason, maybe you guys didn't discuss it openly. It's like maybe you guys didn't say to each other like, okay, so let's talk about the thing that happened before this, right? Maybe you guys kind of just blew it over and you're like maybe tiptoeing around each other. Odd, right? Tiptoeing with the Five of Airs. Note how she's on her tippy toes. Maybe tiptoeing around a subject because you don't want to cause an argument. Really bizarre message there, right? And that's why the set healthy boundaries is here. So I feel like there is a conversation that needs to be had about maybe a previous situation or a situation involving two couples here to kind of get things out into the open and be able to work with it, right? Make it malleable. But some people, I feel like, don't want to deal with it, oddly enough. They don't want to deal with this obstruction. It's like, we'd rather go around it than go through it. because at this point, I feel like it'll be easier to go around. You can kind of get what I'm saying with this motion here. Like, it's better to go around, like circle around the issue. Very bizarre message that I'm getting there. And so forgiveness is key. I feel like likely if there was a falling out, you two have forgiven each other, or whoever these people are, you've forgiven each other. And it's like, I don't want to deal with that anymore. Like, this is an older version of us, right? The person that I was then isn't the person that I am now. And I feel like maybe similarly, you two, you couples maybe feel the same. Oddly enough that I'm getting that. If you're dealing with, coupling here, it's like you recognize the growth maybe within each other and saying, yeah, we talked about it. Like, we saw the different signs. It was really interesting. Things came back for a second round with Fortune's Wheel, right? It was like a redual. It was like a recycling of something. And now we're kind of just trying to figure our way around this obstacle. We're trying to figure out, or we had been trying to figure out how to get past this obstruction. And so there's no need to be angry with each other anymore, because the creation of this obstruction, or whatever it was that happened between us in the past, is no longer relevant. We're on a new page. It's like we're not even the same people that we were when we first started, or when we first like split ways or had a disagreement. Even if it was a short period of days, I'm hearing. Like there's some sort of change that came into your life that really flipped you upside down and made you see things from a different perspective. It's a really bizarre message that I'm getting there. Okay. Okay, so that was, for me, that was a bit of a convoluted message. I just basically let whatever needed to come out. So, please do leave a comment down below if this resonated at all, because I feel like this is very, very scenario specific. And it's like, I'm going to be quite frank, I'm almost like tempted not to even post this video up, because it feels a little bit weird for me. It was just a very bizarre message that came through very strongly. I feel like this is very specific. This will only resonate with, I don't know, maybe even just one person, who knows. And yeah, that's all I can say about it. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy the reading, please do let me know if I did well, if this even corresponds to anyone in some way, shape, or form. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe button, of course. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, I'm sending you so much love and so much light. Take care.